All right, here in the office today, we have the brand new Logitech Keys to Go. I'll be honest, when I first heard about this device, I just thought they had rebranded another thing that they had, which I'll bring in here in just a second. But that I don't think is going to be the case. So we want to unbox this, get it paired up with a Chromebook, and just, I don't know, see what this thing's about. All right, so the device I was talking about, we've talked about it before. So this is the Casa Pop-Up Desk. And when I saw the Keys to Go get announced, I immediately thought they've just slapped like a cover case on the Casa Keys is how they are referred to. So let me open this up and I'll show you why I thought that. Get this thing out. And it's a small, thin keyboard, right? It's tiny. I just kind of freely assumed that's what they were doing here. But the more I've looked into this, the more I'm thinking that is not the case. Anywho, let's talk about it real quick. It's basically just a keyboard cover that kind of flaps over the top of it. Works with Android, Chrome OS, Windows, iPad OS, iOS, Mac OS, all the OSs. Poor Linux is not on here, but I'm sure it would work just fine with a Linux device too. It does get the works with Chromebook sticker as well, so it is Chrome OS like certified and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get in the box and see what we get here. And fun packaging, nothing over the top, but it's almost like a cloth kind of stuff here. I always love, I don't know, stuff that's just better than plain old paper. The rest of the box here, nothing really in there, except some Keys to Go stuff. So it says open it up and it's on. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that here, but it shows if you hold the function key and then hit different keys, it goes into that mode, I suppose. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I wonder if this one does that. I didn't actually pay that much attention, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's going to be Keys to Go, pair up. It's got 1, 2, 3 at the top, just like every other Logitech keyboard. So pretty straightforward and simple there. So let's get to it. And okay, yep. I was correct in the second assumption. The first assumption was that it was going to be basically this with a cover on it. The second assumption was I think I was wrong, and it's actually much smaller. It is way smaller. So let me get the desk out of here. Let's see. Even with it closed up, look at the difference in size between these things. I mean, this thing feels dainty and small, but not bad. Decently rigid. I mean, there's some give there, but this is a thin, extremely light. I bet it's about the same as this Logitech Pebble, which is to say it doesn't weigh anything. You can put it in your bag and not even know it was there. That's pretty cool. It doesn't have any stand capabilities or anything like that, from what I understand. Definitely magnetized there. It just kind of flips open and you pair it up. Again, it's not made to hold anything. You flip it over. It feels like, yep, it magnetized there too. You kind of see that grabbing. So it's meant to magnetize and boom, just be there and be ready to go. I think that's off. I don't want to be trying to connect. So obviously it's keyboard. We want to make sure the keyframe feels good. So yeah, that's really good. Really shallow key travel. So that's not crazy given the absolute thinness of this thing. I talked about how thin the Casa Keys was. I mean, look at the difference there. I mean, that thing is slight. And that's good because that's the whole idea of this thing. It's supposed to be lightweight. It probably weighs half of what this one does. And this is not heavy by any means. Yeah, this thing is just super lightweight. I mean, it feels like a checkbook or something, to be honest with you. I mean, it's so light. But, it's not bending all over the place. I'm putting really good pressure there. Keys feel good. They're very quiet. And generally speaking, if we put them here, let's kind of get our A's lined up. Then your L's. I mean, we're not far off full size here. Obviously, the edge keys here around the sides are tapered off to kind of make it have a smaller profile here. So your enter and shift key and all that kind of stuff, tab, caps lock, all that stuff is smaller. As you can see, there's a start, option, alt, command buttons, all that kind of stuff on here. It looks like we got some shortcuts for brightness, probably what's going to be like an overview. I think emoji key, which they had on here. volume up, down, play, pause, all that kind of stuff. Screen grab probably on there. So let's get it paired up and actually see what this thing does. So I'm going to turn it on. Yep, and so just like every other Logitech keyboard, there's 3 options up here. I'm going to hold 1 down until we get a fast blink, I think. Actually, it looks like we need to go function and hold this on this particular keyboard. There we go. Now we're getting that quick blink. And yep, shows up immediately. You can see it popped up. As soon as I did that, keys to go. We're going to put in the pairing code, 163951, enter. And just like that, we are all good to go. So yeah, let's check out these keys real fast and see kind of what we get. So brightness is working. Now I didn't switch it into like Chromebook mode yet. It did say to hold function C. These seem to be working before that, so I don't know. This one I think, yep, so that's overview mode. I bet you that's still going to be going to a text field. Yeah, so it brings up your emojis. You know, so if you really like bringing up emojis, you got a whole key for it now. Yep, screen recorder mode, which is very handy. Play, pause, volume up, down, mute, all that stuff works. Lock button, looks like that needs function. Yep, so you got a delete key up here, but it's also your lock key. I'm not going to lock it. The other thing that was really handy with the Casa Keys was the ability for me to remap my keyboard. And so I'm going to go into my device, into my keyboard, and keys to go. And look at this. So let me blow the screen up here a little bit. It's got custom keys already bound on this thing. I don't know if it could pass that through Bluetooth. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. So I'd want to change the meta key, which is kind of the start key for Windows devices and stuff like that. We don't have that key on Chromebook keyboards, so that's kind of your meta key. I would want that to be the caps lock. That's becoming caps lock now. And then, yes, I would want to change caps lock, which is in the spot for the everything key, the search button, whatever you want to call it. I would change that to launcher. Now I've done this before on a Logitech keyboard of some sort, so maybe it was an account level thing. I don't know, but you can make those changes in your keyboard. And so now my caps lock button that is here, where my everything button would be, I can click that and bring up my launcher, which is super handy for that, but also for things like, you know, if I had Google Assistant on, that's search A, search backspaces, delete. This has a delete key, so you don't necessarily need that, but I'm a creature of habit, so I like to have those things. The couple things that I use, and the main one would be cut and paste. And so if I'm going in here, type and control all, I'm gonna cut it. I want to be able to multi-paste, so I need the everything key in V. So having that there quickly to be able to use is super handy. So functionally, this thing is going to easily do everything I need it to do. The one thing you don't have on here is the refresh and the back key that I'm kind of used to on a Chromebook. There's no substitute. I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut for back. You could map whatever you want in the keyboard settings if you want to map something to back and relearn that pattern if you want. You can reach up and hit it on your Chromebook, or if you're using a Chromebox or something with this, then like I said, you can map something or you just have to click back on the screen. And then your refresh, Control R does that out of the box. So that's a benefit there. But overall, I mean, this thing paired up immediately, already kind of had the shortcuts in mind that you would want. And it's something that's just so simple and lightweight. And if you're looking for a keyboard that you're going to pair with something, and say you didn't want to carry around something as big as this. Say you had like a little keyboard stand that you put or a laptop stand that you carry with you. You had that, and say this Pebble. I mean, these two things right here are the peripherals you need. If this was up on some sort of stand, these are the two peripherals you would need, and they're going to fit into a bag and take up no room whatsoever. They're super duper light, but they both work very well together. So I'm a big fan of this already. I'll figure out a way to slot it into my workflow for sure, just because I like it. I think it's really cool. Again, the action on it feels really good. It's nice and quiet. It looks good, and when you're done with it, just closes right up. Like I said, it feels like a checkbook or something, but it's so thin and so light. I love this. This is a really cool new thing from Logitech to go along with the Casa desk, pop-up desk kind of thing. I think this is probably even more functional and probably more reasonable for folks. I think it's $70 or somewhere around in there. So yeah, props to Logitech for putting something like this together. This is really cool. I'd love to see some sort of slight mouse that, I don't know, could be like super skinny with this thing. I suppose the Pebble is small enough, but some sort of like really ingenious. I remember the Surface mouse it laid flat and it would like arch up into place. Something like that would be kind of cool, so that you had this very like thin profile thing to slide into a bag. But honestly, the two of these things together right here for less than, it'd be about $100, I think, to buy both of these. You can't really go wrong for a mobile workstation setup. But guys, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Till next time, we'll see you.